My wife and I actually drove to Prince George, which is one of my many hometowns where I grew up. If you listen back to episode 2, when both Tony and I talked about our own growing up story, you would know that I actually spent quite a bit of my childhood in this tiny little mountain village in the north of British Columbia, or actually the central interior of British Columbia, called Prince George. It's a tiny town of 74,000 people, so really not a big population. And it was really kind of a whimsical road trip to go there. It was not our intention, but I haven't been there for 17 years. And I just wanted to, number one, do a little nostalgia tour, but also show my wife where I grew up. And
what'd you think of Prince George?
Well, it's a really shitty town.
Oh, God.
There's nothing to, so this is kind of part of the story, right? So there's nothing to stay for. The only industry there is a giant pulp mill right at the edge of town, and you can actually smell the chemical that's being spilled out of that factory almost anywhere that you are walking around in the little city. So it's actually kind of a gross place, but I just happened to spend 4 years of my childhood there. And what was funny was that we arrived really late and we were trying to check into a hotel. We were talking to one of the bigger hotels, front desk person, to trying to get a room. And he was rightfully curious to ask us, because he saw my California driver license. He was like, why are you here? And I was like, I used to grow up here a long time ago. I want to show my wife what it was like. And almost immediately, he looked at both of us and he said, "So, how's Trump country doing, huh?
Oh, Jesus.
How's life like, under the Trump world in America? Are we going to start a war?" And in the beginning, I thought he was just trying to strike up a conversation and, trying to be friendly. And then I thought, he's making fun of me for leaving Prince George to go to America because now we're like the laughing stock or like the schadenfreude target of everybody else in the world, including the dinky little town, Prince George, in the middle of nowhere in Canada. So
my goodness.
I was like a little upset afterwards about it.
Yeah, well, Canadians are famous for their sense of humor, but that was definitely sort of some sardonicism as opposed to maybe some lighthearted ribbing.